Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
Hot take, folks. That guy should have been bullied as a kid. Folks, you've likely heard a lot about Trump's vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance, in the past few days. Whether it's about how odd of a choice he is, how bad of a choice he is, how good of a choice he is from some, like Donald Trump and his son, who probably see his beard, his white features, and his blue eyes and think, yeah, Hitler would approve. More likely, though, being in our sphere of politics that I like to refer to as reality, you've likely heard endlessly about the negative opinions that J.D. Vance had previously about Donald Trump before his come-to-Jesus moment.
This is an evolution, and I know you've been asked about this before, about past comments that you've made about Donald Trump. You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him. Terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroine, noxious and reprehensible.
But with a political news cycle that would put Speed Racer to shame, that is old news, folks, and frankly, we on that new So what if I were to tell you that I have some piping hot tea about our boy JD? Not this is iced coffee, which interestingly makes up about 50% of my bloodstream. But that new news comes to us in the form of a hilarious rant from an equally hilarious comedian known as Liberal Redneck, also known as Comdedian Trae Crowder. Because Mr. Crow here knew newly minted vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance years ago, way back when he was talking all that trash about Trump. And our very funny friend, Mr. Crowder, had a few things to say about Vance's rise to the second highest position on Republicans' presidential ticket. And it is my honor and pleasure to play his hilarious rant for you today. But before we do that, just want to give credit where credit is due and shout out Trae Crowder. He has a YouTube channel that is incredibly funny, where he has these porch rants where he just kind of rants in his car, which is what we'll see coming up. So definitely be sure to check him out. I'll drop his link in the description. And without further ado, let's hear the piping hot new tea that he had to spill on J.D. Vance.
You know, if you'd have told me when I was a kid that one day a white trash hillbilly would have a shot at the White House, I would have been like, what, like with a potato gun? Like, no, as the vice president. Oh, damn, that's wild. Tell me more about this hero. What was he, a man of the people, civil rights attorney? No, Ivy League educated venture capitalist who first rose to fame by selling us all out. Oh, well, that's disappointing.
Off to a great start. Now, not the new news yet, but worth pausing there to touch on specifics that are addressed later about how J.D. Vance sold out his hillbilly brethren in name only. Specifically, his sham nonprofit that was put up under the guise of supporting the opioid epidemic, but was instead used as a way to bolster his political career and enrich his political cronies. I'll link this below as well. More on that later. Back to the show.
That's like telling a kid, hey, you're going to have a Mario-themed birthday, and on the day of, a fat Italian shows up drunk on mushrooms and kills his pet turtle. It's like, that's not what I thought you meant. I'm talking, of course, about J.D. Vance, who is now Trump's VP pick. You know, J.D. made headlines because he said Democrats were to blame for Trump's shooting because they compared Trump to Hitler. He also made headlines in 2016 for himself comparing Trump to Hitler. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but turns out Trump's VP pick is a Machiavellian sycophant with less integrity than a Boeing 737. That's right, but that's not the only way in which JD betrayed MAGA back in 2016. He also brought his wife to my comedy show and hung out at, yeah, I saw you loving all that woke shit, JD. You know you was into it. That's actually true, y'all. 2016, Trump rose, I went viral, JD's book came out. Me and JD started getting called on the cable news to explain Jim Bobs to bow ties, and we got to know each other a little bit. He came to my show, hung out afterwards, went to a bar. You want to know what we talked about? All we talked about the whole time was the existential threat we agreed Trump posed to the American people. That's right. So while I was not charmed by the man, in fact, it was like pounding beers with a spreadsheet, I did leave there thinking at least there's some sane Republicans left, right? After that, I finally got to his book. It's like, how did this book capture the zeitgeist of all the intelligentsia, right? Well, it turns out it's because that book's whole message is, hey, you know how y'all think that my people are inherently worthless pieces of shit with nothing to offer society? Well, you're right. We suck, but not me. I'm different. No, I once got paddled by a tycoon's son in Connecticut. Please accept me, right? And they did. And that's when my opinion of him started to change, because me and JD have stuff in common. White trash, you know, pillbilly mamas, higher education got out, but I don't hate my people. right? Like, I'd sooner throw it all away than line my pockets with predatory payday loans or big pill profits, okay? I understand that my people struggle not due to some inborn cultural affliction, but due instead to the capricious malice of the same masters he serves, right? Because you look at him, you wonder, how did this guy, what does he do? What is he good at? Well, JD's great, actually. He's great at one thing. He's great at knowing when, where, and to what precise angle he should bend over. Nobody tongue polishes a boot heel like this. All right, the only reason any of us know who JD is because he is bought, paid for, and wholly owned by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, the billionaire whose current pet project is military AI. So yeah, if you thought Dick Cheney and Halliburton was bad, you just wait till my boy Jim Dave unleashes his sugar daddy's armada of autonomous murder drones on Gaza. All right, JD Vance, love y'all.
Hot damn, folks. I don't think I've seen a better takedown of a single person in my life. And just to shout him out even further, I'll leave his tour dates up on the screen for y'all for just a little while so you can take a look at those. But my goodness, saying hanging out with a person was like pounding a beer with a spreadsheet is probably one of the rarest insults and sickest burns I've ever heard. But I think the most damning truth bomb he dropped there was that JD Vance went to his comedy show and was enjoying all of his woke jokes and then sat down and talked shop with him at a bar, continuing to bash Donald Trump and agree that he was an existential threat. And let's be honest, folks, you don't change your mind on that type of stuff unless you're a fraudulent, bootlicking, spineless sycophant that will say and do anything to get into power, just like he did to enrich himself with his fake nonprofit. But I guess that puts him in great company on the Republican ticket, because while Donald Trump is the wolf in wolf's clothing, JD Vance is definitely the sheep in wolf's clothing, trying to pawn himself off as something he is not and never has been. Namely, a man of the people, or of MAGA people, or hillbillies, rednecks, the working class, whomever. And that is particularly notable because JD Vance is apparently supposed to appeal to working class, younger, specifically white men in the ages of 20 to 30. But he doesn't give a damn about those people and would sooner sell them out to see himself at the top, which he's done in the past and will continue to do, even if it is antithetical to his core beliefs and the core beliefs of the people he purports to support. So thank you to Trae Crowder for calling this man out, dropping some absolute truth bombs. Make sure you follow him, support the channel as well, subscribe if you're new here, like the video, share this message because I think this is something that those people need to hear about JD Vance. Thanks for watching, folks. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans, with more illegal drugs and more Democrat voters pouring into this country. This issue is personal. I nearly lost my mother to the poison coming across our border. No child should grow up an orphan. I'm JD Vance, and I approve this message because whatever they call us, we will put America first.